Welcome to the UK Makers Podcast, episode 10. I'm James.
I'm Rosie.
And I'm Matt.
Double digits. 1-0, the big 10. We've done this now for, 2.5 months? Pretty much straight every... That's pretty incredible, really. Isn't that right? I don't know when it was. January the 1st, wasn't it? Is it longer?
Well, because we did smash out like 2 or 3 episodes in was it 3 or 4 episodes in 2 weeks, didn't we, initially? Because we just wanted to sort of get things rolling.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then of course me and Rosie were sick last week, so...
Of which, another special thanks to the wonderful, good-looking, amazingly talented, much better looking than Matt, James, Dr. James from Molten Make. Thank you again. And what a great episode it was. Thank you for everybody's nice, positive, warm feedback. But I must say, I'm delighted to be joined back with the trio of the makers and to have Matt and Rosie back on board. So I'm glad you've cleared up your crabs, Matt, and Rosie.
I was going to say, fugly, crab-filled QRD is now back. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. Cheers.
But before we start, we're all dying to know, what have you had for your tea?
Domino's pizza tonight.
Domino's. That's good maker of fuel.
Certainly is.
Nice.
It's the food of kings.
Rosie,
What?
what do you have for your tea?
Oh, I had pizza.
Fuck me. Gee, that's why you're always ill. Both of you.
What about you,
No,
James?
mine was an Asda pizza.
What was it? Oh, yeah, we're not all posh and have Domino's. Oh, God.
Well, I had
come
Domino's the
on.
other day. It wouldn't make sense to have it again.
Strong words, Rosie. Strong words.
And to be honest, I've been tanning Gareth's cheesecake for all week. So
Just to clarify, that is an actual cheesecake, nothing else, nothing less. Just a
he
cheesecake.
baked me a cheesecake for going over to his house on Wednesday. It was fucking delicious. Oh.
I saw pictures. It looked absolutely bad.
It was fucking massive tea. Oh my God.
Like a steering wheel.
It was. But he only sent me home with half of it, eh?
Matt, would you class yourself as a master baker, or?
I don't bake.
No? You never have that sudden urge to knock some baking out?
Sausage rolls, maybe. So, what have you had for tea? Being as we're all asking round, we might as well,
Genuinely, right, what I've had for tea today, it was the missus' birthday yesterday. The answer to this is coming soon. We've been out for 2 days in a row of doing couple things. So I've come in knowing that I've had to do the podcast this evening, and it's been nice that I've had 2 days off at work. But sometimes going out and doing the couples thing is fucking hard work. So I've come in, it's like, oh yeah, let's have something healthy for tea. And then I realised, oh yeah, it's 6 o'clock. I need beans on toast because I've got no time to do anything. So we're trying to eat better, but at the same time, fucking time and everything and scheduling and all this type of stuff at the minute.
Did you have cheese on top of the beans, or?
I'll be honest, the weight to weight, there was more cheese than beans.
So essentially, you've had a pizza as well. Let's be honest.
Yeah, pretty much.
But James, can we talk about what you had for your lunch?
What did I have for my lunch? Oh shit! Yeah,
sausage.
So we went. So today I've been to a tannery or a leather goods store, which is run by a lovely couple called Peter and Jackie, which is the Identity Leather Craft Store in Matlock, and they are both makers. And sorry, just very, very quickly, because this is the reason why, and it's kind of makes more sense. So it's a husband and wife team that have set up Identity Leather, which are the UK sole distributors for Tandy leather goods from the US. And he's actually a doctor of leather, right? it's mental. So he's got, I don't know anything about university stuff, like, all the fancy questions that James was mentioning last week from Molten Make went a little
So
bit above my head.
essentially, right, he's a dermatologist for cows.
Effectively, yeah. But he,
Skin doctor.
yeah, he did kind of like a doctorate in the 70s. So he's quite, he's a really experienced guy. He doesn't listen to this podcast, or if he does, that would be really fucking weird. But when you speak to one of these people, and I did a bit of research on the website before, and I was like, "Are you the doctor of leather?" And he's like quite a bit shy about it. And then as soon as you kind of ask him a few more technical questions, type thing. Not that I'm very technical with this type of thing at the minute, but wow, that guy is a wealth of leather. So if anybody's thinking about getting into leatherworking or anything like that, speak to Peter in Matlock, which is in Derbyshire, at Identity Leather Craft Store, I think is what it is. Amazing range of materials. They have kind of their own tannery that they outsource into, which was really a great way for me to learn and look at all the different leathers and spend an absolute fortune on leather that's probably going to make like 3 or 4 projects, which is quite scary. So we had a really nice technical, kind of really in-depth conversation with a professor of leather. And then as soon as we came out there and making sure that we'd stick to the diet, eating healthy, being really positive, we went for a chip shop because it was convenient and it smelled amazing. If you do that long bath, which is like where all the bikers go, it's literally just full of either arcade machines. It goes arcade machine, like, I don't know what you call it, games room, whatever. And then it's
An arcade.
Yeah, an arcade. There you go. It goes chip shop, arcade, chip shop, arcade, chip shop, arcade, few motorbikes, and what do you call it? Ice cream shop. That is all there is, just chip shops. So I had no choice, to be honest. That was the only place that I could have got food at that time. Unless I ate 2 pence pieces or something.
And that's only if you won, or if you got the tokens.
Exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. So, amazing day I've had, actually speaking to someone who really, you speak to someone and they really know their shit.
Mm-hmm.
As amazing as YouTube is, and, doing research and reading books, this guy was like an encyclopedia of just leather and tanning and telling you secrets about stuff. And he was saying, like, a lot of the leather dyes that are really, really expensive, they're actually the same as wood dyes that you can buy from like B&Q, which I didn't know that, which I thought was absolutely fucking mental. So I spent like 10 quid on a little bottle of dye, like, the size of a little shot glass. And they were saying, oh yeah, after I bought it, might I add, oh yeah, you know that, you do a lot of woodworking, you were mentioned earlier in your workshop. Yeah, it's the same as wood dye off the shelf, pretty much.
At 1/5 of the price.
Yeah, but a pennies to the litre compared. But yeah, he was saying just play with it, And I'm like,
we can. I was going to say we can see from. I was going to say we can see how successful your shopping trip was, because for those who are just listening on podcast stuff, James has literally got multiple different pieces and sizes and offcuts of leather. He's also basically got half a cow that he's currently holding up to
I wouldn't say that's a full cow.
That is a full hide. Well spotted, Rosie. This is a genuine full hide of leather. It's 2 mil, and this is going to be a tote and some other like nice crafty stuff. But it's all made in the UK, tannered in the UK. My office/workshop. It smells like a cow, or the inside of an elderly woman's mouth. It's extremely leathery. I was going to say something else, but I thought a mouth would be more appropriate.
If you want confirmation on how James knows what the inside of an elderly lady's mouth smells like, please contact the podcast.
Well,
via Instagram.
I was going to say like David Dickinson's face, because he's literally a walking... He's literally a walking leather sofa.
You know what? We're going to have lost the follower now. You've said that. David Dickinson's going to be really upset.
Okay, well, yeah, inside my office smells like the orifice of David Dickinson. We'll say that. It's very, very cow-like. It smells amazing. And the Identity store, or the Identity Craft store, whatever it's called, it's like times a million. It's amazing. I'd go there just to smell it. That'd be really weird. Me again, I'm just here to have a sniff.
You'll be going to your local farm to sniff cows now.
Genuinely, because I like to do full processes of things. Like I really enjoyed last year of buying a tree, getting a tree trunk and then slabbing it and making my own bowl blanks. And I was kind of thinking, how cool would it be to make your own leather? And then you actually realise, oh yeah, leather comes from living cows. So I have to get a cow, grow it, nurture it, udder it, I don't know what else to say. Oh, milk it, yeah, right. So you'd have to really do that for a long time, and then butcher it, have beef.
You need to hang it up, gut it, fucking take the skin off it,
and then
wear it as a jacket while it's still wet. Keep it warm.
God, you've just got the udders.
Wear it as a helmet. Oh, fuck me.
Oh, we need to do some photoshopping. Oh, so yeah, I was thinking.
I'm just waiting for next week. There's just going to be a tirade of people who are like animal welfare.
Oh, yeah.
Peter's going to be on to us.
Yeah, that's what's going to be happening. But now I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice to make your own kind of leather or tan your own, have a proper tannery type thing, which is effectively if you buy veg tan leather, which is leather in its rawest state, it's untouched, unmolested, and then you can kind of colour it and do whatever you want to it, which is kind of cool. I'd like to actually go to a proper tannery and just see how they do it.
I mean, I know like cow leather is going to be possibly the most common.
Yeah.
But does this place offer other hides other than just...
Well, I had a bit of a learning day today. I must admit, there's calf leather. So calf leather that you get is made for like women's purses and like because it's really soft, really, really nice. I think you can get horse leather, which is like really tough stuff. Are really popular with falconry, like, is it a falconer?
Gauntlets.
Falconry. They've got like anklets that they call them. And it's like these anklet stuff and the little things that the I don't know, sit on and shit. That's kangaroo leather. So that's really popular for kangaroos. It's worth mentioning that my partner's from Australia and I think, oh, poor kangaroo. And she's like, nah, fucking they're everywhere.
They're huge.
They're
everywhere.
Everywhere. Like there's I think they have to cull a certain amount of kangaroos because they literally just like run in front of cars and kick fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine, mate. It's fine. Yeah.
I'm guessing you've all seen the footage of the chap who's kangaroo. He's got a dog and his dog gets kidnapped off of him by kangaroo. So he ends up going toe to toe with a kangaroo to get his dog back.
Have you seen the movie Kangaroo Jack?
I have. Yeah.
Nope.
And and he puts his shades on him and his jacket and he runs off. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looks cool as fuck. And the money's in the pocket and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, what a great film.
Jackie Legs.
Yes. I remember watching that in a portable DVD player, and I got it for Christmas as a kid. And the DVD, and whenever you went over a speed bump, it like the DVD
took a chunk out of the DVD.
Yeah, it kind of like skipped and paused, and then shook, and then carried on. So I could only watch it on the motorways because the I don't know, the reader or something would skip. The little laser thing at the bottom would move. Yeah, so yeah, that's every week now. I just talk about leatherworking, so I am sorry, but that is
That's all right. No, it's something you're getting your head into, isn't it? I mean, and the thing is,
Yeah.
I guess this goes for most makers, but when you start tinkering inside a new sort of hobby, when you just get past the research stage, for me, I do a load of research to make sure it's something I could actually afford to do, which when I had a stab at leatherwork, it turned out it wasn't, so it kind of scuppered it before it started. But when you get past the research stage, you end up just going like headlong into it, don't you? And it's just all you can think about. So
it's very much balls deep. Look, I've been selling. I don't know if you saw. I sold a lot of stuff on eBay this week. So a lot of things like things that I've collected at car boots. It's mainly what I do is because I like job lots, and if I see a job lot with like 2 or 3 things in it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy that job lot for the other shit, just for those 2 things. And then everything that I don't want, I've got like a little bucket that I put all the things that I don't want in the bucket, and then when it gets to the top, I just sell that or give it stuff away. Like wood planes, you can end up having like 1 million number 4 smoothing planes that are just nobody wants.
Can't relate.
Yeah, it's like screwdrivers and.
Yeah, that's when I buy job lots. I buy it for the same as you. I buy it for like a couple of things, and then like the stuff that I don't want, it gets slung in a box really, and then when I can be arsed, it'll get slung on eBay as a job lot. And people will do the same thing. They'll buy it for a couple of things, and then they'll have the shit that I don't want and they don't want. So.
I've had people on Facebook Marketplace, like put up a big job lot of tools that are just kind of chucked on the floor, and then you want 2 or 3 things. And I've messaged him saying, I sent him a picture of me circling around it, like that's a wood plane, that's a nice spoke shave, that's I don't know, like a nice Starrett combination square. I will pay you what your asking price for everything if you just send me those 3 things, because that's all I want. And for some reason, people like get really offended. Like, why don't you want any of the other stuff? Well, because it's shit. Yeah, exactly. I've had that about 2-3 times now. Well, what am I going to do with the other stuff? Well, do whatever the fuck you want with it. Bin it. If you've already made that money. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has got that, but that is.
Can we talk about Facebook Marketplace for like a couple of minutes, because I had a bad experience the other day. And Matt knows about this because I went off on one. I was like close to murder as well. So I bought this really cool Stanley level on Marketplace. It's worth about between £65 to £80 on eBay, and I got it for 15. But it was in Irvine, which is a good over an hour away, and it's like the west coast of Scotland. So I didn't want to, try and find time to go and get it. So I asked the guy, could you send it? And he was like, yeah, but it's really heavy. But it's only like half a kilo, really. That's what it says on the label anyway. So he said, yeah, extra £8. Yeah, added on. I was like, right, cool, because I was expecting it to be fucking really heavy. Yeah. But I get it. On the label, it says Royal Mail second class, £3.20. So I was raging, this cunt. Fucking £4.80 extra. Like, see if it was like £1, I wouldn't have bothered, right?
Yeah.
But nearly a whole fucking £5, I went off. I was like, I was beeling.
She
nearly dropped her cheesecake. She was that pissed off.
That's fighting talk in Scotland. £5. I've heard that sometimes Scottish people put a full £5 worth of petrol in their cars at one time.
Did you see my story the day? I put fucking £45 in my car.
Did you go
that was 3/4 of a tank?
£5 circled round.
Well, it wouldn't total up, would it? Fuck me. Anyway, so I messaged this guy, like maybe he thought like, the price wouldn't be on the shipping label or anything, but it was. So I messaged him, look, can I get my money back? And whatever. And then he read the message and didn't reply. And then I said to him again, look, I will get my money back, whether you give me it or if I call the bank and they give me it, I'm getting it back. He was like, whoa, what's with all the threats and that? I'll give you a £5 in that. was like, fuck off.
I've
Did
had
they try and fucking scam me, you cunt? Anyway.
Sorry, Rosie.
I hope he doesn't listen to this, because, you know...
No,
Damn breed.
I hope it does.
I got my money back. He sent me an extra 20 pence as well.
If you are listening, we've got Matt with a cricket bat coming up to see you. Just letting you know.
And he's got crabs.
And he's got crabs.
The guy said that he was a part of a men's shed. So I was like, yeah, if he doesn't give me my money back, I'm going to Irvine and setting the shed on fire.
Is it part of a shed made by other men? Or is it...
I think so. I think it's like, you know, a really small...
like a wall full of old men.
Yeah. Like a community of old men with nothing better to do than scam innocent young women of £4.80.
You know what?
That shed probably smells exactly the same as James's office.
Yeah.
Can I smell them? Can I come up and smell them? I've had the opposite, kind of the other side of that. So I sold some wood chisels, some wood turning chisels online.
Are you scamming wee cunt too?
Yeah.
Scamming innocent wee lassies of £4.80.
What it is, right? I sold it 50 quid. I think it was 50 quid. And I put in £6 postage because I actually go online and like try and figure out recorded, because I do everything now, recorded, signed for. I don't care how much it is. I'm not being fucking fooled with this shit. So anyway, I was like, oh yeah, one bids, that's great, fucking fantastic. And then I was like, right, I've wrapped it up, I printed off my label. So I got a label to write on it. And it was like, where the fuck's that? And I'm not going to say where it is, because... Anyway, it was in Southern Ireland. It's like, right, it's not in the UK. I set everything to the UK. And obviously this fucking guy has gone onto eBay England, UK, whatever. And he's bid on my thing, and I put in even my description, UK mainland only. You know, that's what I want. And the fucking guy has put in, he just messaged me saying, oh, can you send it to my address, please? And I was like, I wrote back no, because I've put in £6, and then it's like £15.90 for the postage. I'm like, yeah, you've got to pay for the different postage, mate. Oh, well, you've already put that value in. It's £6. No. You're in Southern Ireland. You're not in the UK. I'm sorry, mate. Do you want these chisels? And he's put yes. Right? Well, can you please send me an extra £10? I'll do it for £10 and make it easy for you. And he was like, no. Why should I? Because that's how much it is to fucking cost. That's how much it is. You know, to go there. If I have a taxi, right, and say I wanted to go to London, and then when I got to London, and then said, oh, you know what, I actually want to go to Cornwall, just do it for the same price, because, you know, I want to go to Cornwall. It's fucking different, isn't it? Completely different.
Yeah, well, it's the fact that he went out his way to, you know, pay for it.
Yeah.
Probably using their UK address or something like that, just so he can buy it. And then say ship it to this address. Yeah. Nah, fuck off.
Yeah, but actually I've had eBay now for 10 years and I've got 100% like rating. So I don't... If you piss anybody off, then every dickhead's just going to put negative feedback.
Yeah, but then you can put it up with eBay and say, look, this is what happened. I only wanted it UK only shipping.
Can you do that?
Like, obviously... Yeah, you can, yeah. So then if he gives you a negative feedback, then you can take it up with eBay.
Oh, God,
have a chat with, is it 4 Marks Tools?
Yeah.
Because he's got like 100% rating.
Yeah.
And then somebody bought, I think it was a Vice or a plane off him, and he took pictures of it, and it was in a rusty state, because he said, I think it even said in the description, like, good restoration project. And somebody bought it, and then when they got it, they're like, oh, it's all rusty. It's not like it was in the pictures. And he goes, well, send me pictures of it in case the courier's like, it's got damp or whatever. It's exactly the same. And he goes, well, it's exactly the same as what it was in the pictures, what you bought what you paid for, sort of thing.
Yep.
And they ended up giving him like negative feedback. So he took it up with eBay, and then eBay ended up getting one of their, like, what do they call it, like an auditor or something in to look at the case. And they went, yeah, no, her, I say her, because it was a her. Her
Hasn't got a leg to
response
stand
was,
on, basically.
yeah, like she's bang out of line. So yeah, we're
Proof
going to
is in
just
the
cancel.
pudding.
Yeah.
Can we get?
Plus, it would have made an absolutely brilliant restoration project. So
Yeah, exactly. That's what these people like doing. You know, using an angle grinder to take all the rust off, and then wondering why it's not flat anymore. Yeah, what's up with? Can we give Four Marks Tools a special mention and a special thank you, because he had a Curta calculator, and of which is one of those things that I've wanted for a while. So I sold my motorbike, and I was thinking, what's like a motorbike? And instantly, I thought a mechanical calculator would be amazingly perfect. He had one up for sale. It was a little bit out of budget. His was in really nice condition. And he messaged me saying, I know you wanted one of these. Here's one that's a bit cheaper that I didn't see. I was looking. And he is a dealer. He's out, he needs to make money. But out of the goodness of his heart, he found me my prized new motorbike, which is this Mark 1 Curta calculator, which is, can you hear that?
ooh.
Oh, it is amazing. Like, it is, yeah, it's an heirloom now. This is like, I'm just gonna buy one every year as my retirement fund.
Well, and it would be.
And then if I buy one every, I'm not going to actually do this because I cannot afford to buy them. I managed to get this extremely cheap. But yeah, really nice guy for actually doing that. And I don't know him that well, but I message him, and he does get some nice tools, and he works extremely hard. So anybody who shits on him is I don't know.
Absolutely.
Really
He got in a bunch of tools, like just a whole shitload of tools, and I seen the pictures and saw some stubby screwdrivers, and I was like, "Do you want to dig out some stubby screwdrivers for me? I'll pay for them, obviously." And he goes, "Yeah," and then he got COVID. So then it was a couple of weeks later. He messaged me, "Yep, I've got these," and I was like, "Yep, want them." I was like, "How much do you want for them?" He said, "It's fine, I'll send you them for free." I said, "No, I'll pay for the postage if that's the case then." So I paid for the postage, and he sent me a load of stubby screwdrivers and chucked an extra one in for me. So
Nice.
it was alright, eh? Because you know me, I love my stubbies.
Is that how you?
The same for me. So my experience with Four Marks Tools is before I got my lathe, I got in touch with him because I had a few tools that I wanted to get rid of, and unlike you two, I can't be arsed with eBay. Like, I've tried selling through eBay before, and it's just a nightmare. So, and Facebook Marketplace, you have to bite the bullet and accept that you're going to be selling it for less than what you would like.
Yeah.
Because you're obviously narrowing your field down to the immediate vicinity of people around you. So anyway, I got in touch with him. I said, "Look, I've got a few things I want to get rid of, blah, blah, blah." We got chatting. He was like, "Is there anything that you want to buy?" I was like, "Mate, one thing my workshop needs right now is a lathe." So with that, every time he went to like workshop clear-outs or anything and there was a lathe, he took a picture of it and sent it to me straight away and was like, "Is this what you're after?"
That was amazing.
And I think he'd sent me 2 or 3, and one of them was a ridiculously cool and stupidly rare lathe. That you can, the tailstock and the headstock were on their own sliding sort of own ways, so you could actually
sliding
wind
head.
them up. Yeah, but vertical. So if you had something that was a small diameter, you could you just use it in its standard sort of setup with it, like basically bolted to the floor,
Cool.
like bolted to its bed. But then if you wanted something that was like you wanted more swing on the chuck end, you could literally just oik it up, and if you needed support, then you could just wind up the tailstock to be the same center height. It is insane, but it wasn't in amazing condition, and I wanted something that I could basically use. With a little bit of fiddling around with the old electronics, something that was a bit more standard industrial for myself. And literally,
it would have been cool to have.
It would have been cool. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was tempted. It was just the amount of work to get it up and running that would kind of put me off. And then about 2 or 3 days after I had agreed the purchase on on Harriet, on my Harrison lathe, my M300, he sent me a Colchester student roundhead for less money than what I just bought and it was about the same size, and I was like, oh, that would
I
have
know
been
that's
perfect.
the one that you wanted as well.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with my little Harrison M300 because of the way the gearbox is made up. The headstock is smaller than what it is on a Colchester Student. So for its footprint, I've actually got more usable bed length.
Yeah.
But I've always had a soft spot for Colchesters purely because the handles for your X and your Z are around the right way.
What do you? Sorry, what do you find you need more of? Extra length or swing? No, that's a genuine question because
Okay.
in my Myford, I want more swing, but I very rarely need the extra length.
So I think small, like this. I'm trying to think of the standard bed lengths now that the Colchesters came with. This is another reason why I went for the Harrison M300 because the one I bought is a gap bed. So, and for those that don't know, it's got a section of the bed that you can unbolt and remove, so you can then increase the swing that your lathe has. Basically, remove the chunk of the bed that's getting in the way. And funny enough, I have got some work coming up in the next couple of months, doing work on somebody's 3-piece, what do you call them?
Sweet.
Split rims for their cars.
Yeah.
For I think it's a VW Golf. But anyway, getting off topic. But yeah, I it's hard to say because the stuff that I'm doing is quite small, and there are some times when I think maybe I should have got a Myford because the fiddly stuff that I'm doing is no.
No, I'm going to upset a lot of people. Myfords are best in class. There is without a shadow of a doubt. But you are buying the name for a lot of the stuff. If you've got the room, there are far better machines for the money that you can buy.
But the thing is I know people, right, the bigger the lathe, the cheaper it is, second hand.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Because you could pick up a £500 fucking 3-phase lathe on eBay, but my Ford's like, well, ML7 is between 1,200 and about 1,500.
Yeah, depending on some are going for like $2,000 now, which is fucking nuts to us.
I know, but I think what it is with my Fords is that you can use single phase with them,
and you can get all the bits. And they're easy.
Most people don't have 3-phase, and the expansion you put in to make it, inverters and stuff like that, make it run on single phase. I think that's maybe why.
I think they can fit in the back of every car, pretty much. They can fit in the back of the car. They've got a massive support network, so to speak. They're dead easy. If you move house, you haven't got to, you haven't got to buy riggers and all this type of thing. So I do get that. All I'm saying, if you've got the room and you're fit enough to be able to move it, I'd say look at a Boxford or something like what Matt's got. I don't know what that is, but okay. Rosie's distracting me. That's what she's doing. So I would say, look at maybe, I don't know. I love my Myford, don't get me wrong. I'm extremely grateful and happy to be the custodian of now my third Myford lathe. Third, technically fourth, but third ML7. So I do like it a lot, and I do slag it off a little bit. But I just think there's a lot of kit out there. And mentioning what you meant with like swing and bed and length, etc. That's why I've now got 3 wood lathes, because I've got a bowl lathe that I just use for making fuck off great big bowls, and now I've got a spindle lathe that I can process up to 1 meter long, which is nice, and then I've got my high speed lathe, which is amazing for like making pens and doing like really thin, intricate stuff at really high speed. So it can turn up to about 7,000 RPM now, which is mental.
Yeah,
which
that's you turning up to the podcast one day with just a piece of wood sticking out the top of your head, though. Speed, that is.
Honestly, I have never, touch wood, I've never had anything fucking break on a wood lathe. I've turned great big shit, like 22-inch plus. But I think, I know I'm not being big-headed, but because I've worked on engineering lathes, and when you understand kind of like the harmonics of things moving, and I think I've got a pretty good safe head for like risk. And I see people that terrify me on like woodworking forums that's offset turning like a 16-inch bowl blank, and it's just vibrate. It's vibrating all over the bench, and it's like, it's vibrating all over the bench. No, that's fucking terrifying. What are you doing?
Yeah, that has the potential to kill you outright.
Yeah, but the thing, it's on a chuck. Well,
yeah,
chuck jaws fail, or the scroll chucks notoriously fail. It's like people don't understand that there's like 3 bit of really shitly, wankily cast, steel or probably cast iron in some cases, holding on effectively a cannonball to your face.
Which you're stood in front of whilst it's rotating.
Exactly.
Can I just say,
with a thing that's acting like a lever as you stab it into it is just. Yeah. Sorry, Rosie, what were you going to say?
I've had this experience last week when I was turning Damascus. Tried to part it off, just slowly turning the fucking thing, and like the chuck was really tight on this because I was parting off, and the fucking thing was just launched into oblivion.
Oh yeah.
Like it came out the chuck and went flying when I tried to part it off.
I hate parting off. I
fucking hate it too. So it
depends.
Well, after it happened, you dropped me a message like this thing nearly fucking killed me, and we had a bit of a chat about it, didn't we? Because so at the moment I'm running a job. My first. So this is actually a vague segue for what we can talk about next. Actually, I was pondering about changing my name because Hex Manufacturing or MFG. I haven't been doing any manufacturing. I've just been tinkering. So I was thinking it's not really what I do, manufacturing, because I don't make anything for anybody. And then this week, was it last week? Last week, somebody got in touch. They want me to make stuff. So I'm sticking with the name. Sod it. It's all right. I'm now making stuff for people.
Are we allowed
You are, sorry?
I don't know if you're allowed to discuss it. We didn't mention this previously. Are you allowed to?
I'm basically making bits that will get turned into light fittings.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
But basically, the customer got in touch with me and said that they're buying stock in at 25, an inch diameter, and about 300 mil long, and they want it turned down to 25 mil. So I was like, "Oh, this is quite easy money." Well, the thing is, from my understanding, the customer's like a high precision workshop.
Oh, okay, right.
So they're obviously charging their guys out at a lot higher rates. And then, of course, if you're tying a machine down to just bollocking off 0.4 off of X amount of billets, or X amounts of bits of bar off of stock, you're wasting time. So it's probably more cost effective to outsource that, and then you get the blanks to size as you want them, so you can just whack them in the machine and press play and actually produce the part. So, it's my first sort of attempt. I mean, I've done little bits for the company I work for and more locally sourced, but this was an actual customer I had nothing to do with. Got in touch with me to ask him to do something. Anyway, case in point, those I've got a crap parting off blade. It came with the lathe, and it's one of those old hand ground. Is it cobalt high speed cobalt steel or whatever it is?
Yeah,
tool steel. And it's in a really old holder that would probably belongs on like Rosie's ML4. But what it means is that the parting off tip is freaking miles away from the tool post when you finally got it all in there. So then when you're actually trying to part off with it, you can feel the tool post. You just know that it wants to go under the bit of bar.
It's lifted up, yeah.
Yeah, so like literally I'm parting off to leaving maybe 10, anywhere between 8 and 12 mil before it would properly part on. Then I have to get the hacksaw out and finish it off because it just scares the crap out of me. I mean, if I'm a lot more tolerant with the slidable, length adjustable carbide tip jobbies. I love those.
See,
But,
I find typically with parting tools, and we just mention this quickly because I do want to talk about branding, especially Rosie's news that she's got this week. But I find with the parting tool, being more aggressive actually helps more. Instead of like trying to nip it in. I've always had like a hollow grind. So if I've got my high-speed steel bit here, I've got a hollow grind at the top, and then I put a small relief angle at the top. So then when you are engaging, and I always put mine slightly below center, so I do leave a pip in the middle. So then when it gets down to like the really, really small part, if you've got a 3mm wide parting tool, you can just kind of do the
wiggle snap,
the little wobbly snap off. So I don't know, Rosie, that might be an option, maybe.
Well, see, I could put it off center. I can do that, but the parting off tool that we use is a carbide insert.
Oh, yeah. I hate them.
Because the Damascus is quite hard. It's harder than the HSS steel, so that was my problem.
You've given it a go. Like,
yeah, I have.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I can part off on the lathes at college. No issues with that. Maybe it's because I haven't got like an auto feed or anything like that to slowly.
Horsepower is a good thing as well. Rigidity.
Yeah. Well, see when I get my bigger shed, I can be able to get more torque on my lathe, so I can have the counter shaft and all that jazz, because I don't currently have it. So I'll have more torque, and I'm probably going to go get a new chuck as well at some point, because I think there might be some play in the scrolls. I think me and Matt came to that conclusion the other day, that there's maybe some play in the scrolls. That's why the bit of Damascus got some airtime.
Fair play.
Yeah, I think because when we did a bit of troubleshooting, it seems that the chuck that's on your lathe isn't the original, and it's an inch larger than what the faceplate is that it's bolted to. Is that right?
I believe so.
Or something.
Well, James, even you said, when I sent you pictures of it, you said that the chuck's quite big.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the casting bearings, aren't they, Babbitt or whatever they are? I've got a 6-inch chuck for my Myford, and I don't like using it. I only use it for big, rough job stuff. But I think standards is either 4.5 or a 5-inch chuck on mine. And the 6-inch chuck really does fuck the lathe up. Like it's too much weight, spindle weight on the end. And I do feel like it's twisting almost, because it's so much, especially we've got a big bar in it as well. So if I do use it, I do support it with a tailstock, because I do worry about my poor little Myford. So yeah, probably. But I can't remember what it looks like, to be honest. I need to have a look at one of your photos. But big chucks are not always the answer. Like a lot of people buy.
Well, see, I think if I was going to buy one, I'd probably buy a 3-inch one or a 4-inch one, depending. Yeah, because it's not like I'm going to be making extra large parts. Like, I'm only working in a shed. Like, I'm not going to be like, I don't know, skimming an exhaust or something, something mental like that. So
I quite fancy. I've never used. Have I used? I'd like a 4-jaw scroll metal chuck. That'd be quite handy for doing square stock, especially now that I'm making my own tools. That'd be quite handy. But I've heard really mixed things about them.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've been doing at the minute, if I am drilling some square stock, I put it in my wood lathe. And I just put that, because they've got a 4-jaw scroll chuck, and it's accurate enough for the majority of stuff that I need it to. Or I take it and put in the 4-jaw independent chucks, or a 6-jaw. But why the fuck do I need a 6-jaw? They just look cool.
I just realised that I have another lathe in my shed that I could maybe take the chuck off. I forgot about it. See if it fits the Drummond.
That what?
Just you mentioning 6-jaw chucks. I don't know if you guys, either of you, watch KLM.
KLM, yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
have
was
you
where
seen
my
his
mind went to when James said Six Jaw Chuck.
Six Jaw Chuck? Yeah, it's so he's James. Are you familiar with KLM, the machinist?
No, I was thinking of Tom Lipton. I really like that bloke.
Oh, he does cool stuff too. But funny enough, I think KLM actually calls him Uncle Tom. They talk a lot, from what I can understand. But yes, okay. Basically, he's a machinist from
Vietnam
Vietnam,
or Thailand?
and
Yeah, on Instagram.
like the quality. Yes, he does, and the quality of what he outputs from his workshop is insane. For one. And for two, one of his more recent projects was making. He needed a 6-jaw chuck for something, and I don't think he could get one soon enough. But he could buy the billets, so he was like, "I'll just make it." So he's made the body. He then made up using a dividing head. He made a load of gears so that he could then make an auto feed for the dividing head, so he could make the scroll. And then he used the same method for machining the back of the jaws, and then finished off with making the jaws themselves. And literally, that chuck is absolutely insane.
Shit, did he make that?
Yeah.
Holy Jesus, that is amazing. What a prick for being that good at making shit.
It's literally. There's a friend of mine, Jake from Jake's Machine Shop. When he put the video up, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to sell my tools." There's literally no point even bothering to try and be a machinist anymore.
Yeah.
When you've got somebody who can produce that quality of shit, it's just amazing.
What a cop!
Mental.
He's making us look right bad.
Exactly.
He looks 10.
I'm hanging up my apron now. Like, that sort of feeling towards his work is just incredible.
See, I can see in his eyes, right, that apron is rubbing his nipples. That is amazing. I mean, fair play. Fair play.
Yeah.
He's a very clever lad.
He really is.
My
Phenomenal.
God. I mean, I'm making a bowl tomorrow out of wood. Try do that. KLM. Yeah. Oh no, that's really cool. You know what? He has actually got a wood lathe by the looks of it.
Oh no!
It's a turret lathe. But yeah, fair enough. That's amazing. Branding. Let's talk branding. Matt has mentioned it. Rosie, you've got some big news. You have evolved into something exciting.
Yes, I no longer do restorations. Well, I do.
She's got to the next stage of her Pokemon.
What's funny is, like, I changed my name because, I don't, exclusively do restorations anymore. The same day I changed my name, I started a restoration, which is mental. Anyway, I changed my name because I now have evolved into someone that does more than restorations. I now do other stuff.
Okay.
And what was your reasoning behind that? Because I know me and you discussed it at quite some length, didn't we? Because we were trying to come up with names and for myself as well when I was feeling a bit.
Since I'm close to 1,500 followers, and if I scrolled through the list of followers, how many people have restorations in their name? So, and I kind of grew to just fucking hate it. Like, restorations, it's like, because I can say for myself, I don't actually fucking restore it. Like, I just, fix it, I guess. Like, rescue it from the scrapyard. I wouldn't say I restored it because I didn't use the exact paint, the manufacturer used and whatever like that. I can't really call it a restoration.
Recommissioned it.
Yeah, basically. So, I kind of just grew to hate the restoration part of my name because also, like, it's
I get that.
it's not who I am. I feel like I am lying if I have my name as Restorations, Rosie's Restorations. At first, yeah, it's kind of my brand, I suppose. But brands evolve. So
I get that. I've been there. And I would hazard a guess that a lot of people have. And funnily enough, me and James last week kind of skimmed across this topic just a little bit of naming and how we brand it. And I think as makery people, we definitely think about this a lot, because I think it's really important to us, like image and brand and names and kind of what we name as.
Because it doesn't really matter to everyone else, but it matters to you what you think of your name.
Exactly.
Basically. Because I can guarantee you people don't give a shit.
No. And that's... I thought about it with mine. So, like I've changed my name once before, but it was within about probably a month and a half, and it was Tiger Tools, which I love the branding of somebody else, of a big corporate, of a company called Tiger Trailers, which I was working with at the time, and they make big trolleys for big trailer, Arctic trailers for people like Marks and Spencer's and the really fancy things. You'll see them at the back. And I really liked when I used to go into their offices, there was literally a great big fuck off tiger with Tiger Trailers on there. And I thought, that is really nice branding, that. So when I started doing Instagram, I thought, I want to be Tiger Tools. And then every time I looked at the logo, I was a bit like, fucking, I hate that. I've done a really shite job of that. And then I was like, there's no tigers in the UK. So then I was thinking, maybe like people from India might think I don't want people thinking I'm from India. So I kind of thought, I'll think of something else. So then I lived on the boat, and then Wanker made Anchor, and I thought it worked out pretty well.
Yep.
But now I'm doing leatherworking, and Rosie has amazingly done some incredible artwork for me. Because, as I mentioned last week, I feel leatherworking is a bit too far out from what I do. And if you do metalworking and woodworking and kind of welding and CNC shit, you're kind of in that circle. But then if you do leatherworking and crafty shit, and it's in a different circle, if that makes sense. It's too far up here, out of the way. It's down a different alley in the supermarket. It's
a shame you didn't know me when you were Tiger Tools. I could have done you a quality logo.
It was one time I was thinking I want to put stuff on Instagram, and I remember thinking just think of something, and I was like, fuck, where have I been this week? Tiger Trailers. I like that. I'll just have Tiger Tools. And then at the time, it's when Fireball Tools from America was fairly young, in like that, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and he only had, 8,000 or 9,000 subscribers from his first channel, because I think he got deleted at one point. So it was really early on. I was like, that's really cool. I could be like Tiger Tools and Fireball Tools, but UK version, but they didn't kind of really match. So I thought Anchor would work, because I never thought I'd be buying a house, and I've bought a house, and I don't live near any water anymore. But I don't care.
Yeah, so I think it's funny, as you say, it was like an evolutionary thing, because I mean, as I said, me and Rosie we've been discussing this leading up to the change of name, because I was feeling the same about me, that I wasn't manufacturing anything, I was just making stuff that interested me. The whole idea about being hex manufacturing for me was to get some work in that I could then use to fund the workshop. Just for my own interest, but I wanted to have a bit of money coming in so I could actually, as I say, fund it that way. So I tried stylizing it as a company, but that didn't feel genuine now, because I spent so long not doing that.
Yeah.
So then when somebody got in touch and was like, we need some work, and fortunately they've already offered me two or three other jobs as well, so
that's pretty good.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but I should probably actually say my new name, which is
I was going to say
Rosie's Workshop, because it's an umbrella name. It means I can evolve into other things.
Rosie's Workshop, and the logo that you've done looks very good.
Yeah, Matt designed it for me.
So I'm really surprised. Like, I wasn't involved, obviously, in this conversation in the design process of this. Matt, I don't take this wrong way. I didn't think you were that type. I didn't think you had it in you.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm not being genuinely.
No. So back in the days of when I was as a kid, I taught myself how to use Adobe Illustrator.
Yeah.
And I used to end up making pretend logos for pretend companies on there.
Nice.
And I got pretty good on Adobe Illustrator, and then they became thieving little buggers, and so now no one can afford their software unless you've got oodles and oodles and oodles of money.
Yeah.
Well, unless you get really old versions, you can pirate it.
We
We would never suggest doing that.
suggest doing that.
Never.
Now, would we?
We do not endorse stealing software.
No, we do not.
Or postage fees, you prick. Yeah. So, no, I've never used it. I've used Microsoft Paint to draw very inappropriate things on teachers' smart interactive whiteboards. And that was about it. And that was many years ago now. So yeah, I've never done it. I've always been a sketchy type person. But I must admit, I used to paint. So I used to do watercolors. Would you believe?
Did you do that in your book?
Now that sounds like something that I would not expect you to say.
No, I used to. I'm not very good at it. I'll be honest. I'm not very good at it at all. But I've still got all like my watercolors, and I used to just sit on the back of my boat. And
I knew it. You have your easel out and painting nice little canal sceneries and all that.
Yeah. So I used to park outside the local gym, find the biggest pair of knockers, and then just... Oh, no, love. No, I didn't have an easel. I usually used to have a bit of plywood that I would put my gummed water paper on there, that I'd buy only in the works because it was really cheap. And I would masking tape.
Top quality stuff in there.
Top quality shit. So yeah,
not be sponsoring us anytime soon.
No, but I'm not very good. I like landscapes. I can't really draw like a fruit in a bowl, which was always the practice thing. Draw a bit of fruit in a bowl. I was like, why the fuck do I want to draw fruit in a bowl? You know, go somewhere nice. I'll draw a tree. I used to like trees. So that's the only bit of arty-farty thing that I'd do, really. I do fusion.
You say that's just like you just sort of brush it off, but that's pretty arty-farty. Like, fair play to you, because I mean, for me, I enjoy technical drawing. That was always my mainstay, and I'm struggling because I bought Rosie's iPad off her after. Well, you wanted an upgrade, and I wanted to have a stab at drawing on a tablet to see how I got along with it.
Yeah.
So, because I wanted to get back into doing like logo-y designs, because the idea was that I was supposed to design and make the digital version of it for Rosie so that she could then use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of was procrastinating with your logo, James, because it was so intricate, and I was like, yeah, I think I'll take a break. And then I was like, what can I do? Then I had a screenshot of what Matt was going to do for me, so I just did it.
I feel really bad about that because I did look like I was expecting you to just do an outline.
All right, I didn't know that's what you wanted, but I done the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, no, it's like a full-on. Like, as soon as you see it, it is literally that, and I'm pointing at my Singer 29K sewing machine. It is literally
with an awesome sticker on it.
Oh yeah, with another logo that Rosie has designed. Because I really liked your artwork. I still obviously do. So I don't use that in videos or anything. I bought that for me to put like on my core machines. And it is I really love that 40s, 30s pin-up girl style. You know, the American type side of a Spitfire. You know that you'd see with like a woman with great big knockers.
Memphis Belle and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the lady.
Big knockers.
So I really like that. And cracking knockers. So that is the blonde lady pole dancing on an anchor with a Union Jack flag in the background. It's fucking cool. And I really do love that, Rosie. Thank you. I cherish those.
The thing is, the artwork that you churn out, Rosie, genuinely, because I got in touch with you, oh god, we've been chatting for ages actually, and then I mentioned about doing pictures of my of Pippa, my milling machine, and Harriet, my lathe. And as soon as you made those and I put them up, the amount of like the response I got off of Instagram from various people saying,
"Where the fuck
did you get them from?" I want to get them to do my sticker as well. And I was like, yeah, Rosie's Restorations, as it was at the time. Go check her out. And I mean, me and James, we both love the stuff you put out.
Which reminds me, the guy that messaged you, TH Weld and Fab, he did approach me, but he was like, "Oh, how do I pay for this? I don't want to spend too much money and blah blah blah." And then I sat and went through his Instagram, and I was like, "I know how we can do this," because I told him, some people don't typically have a lot of money, but they do stuff for a living that I could maybe take advantage of. Well, not really take advantage of, do a trade with. So I've done trades with Red Dog Workshop. I've done trades with Now James because he sent me a tool post, so I've done a design for him. So TH Weld and Fab, he done a Morse taper tool holder. I think it was for himself. And it's just that it was made out of that kind of steel or something, like on the floor, anti-slip steel sort of thing. Can't remember what it's called.
Rigidite.
Anyway,
Durbar.
Yeah, something like that. And he made a tool holder for lathe tools. So I was like, yeah, I'll do this drawing for you if you make me one of them. So he's making me one in trade for my design.
Is it like mine?
No, it's. I'll send you a picture. It's not for hanging on the wall. It's for sitting on a desk sort of thing or a worktop. But I'm going to drill some holes in it and put it on my wall.
I could have made you one like mine and just charge you the material, which is about £300 if you want.
Yeah, no, I don't have that.
Fucking stupid idea that was. When you commit to something, fucking
straight out of the box though. Like for what we're talking about, this is like the poster statement for the maker community on Instagram. Like it is insane.
Don't get me wrong. I do charge people, if they haven't got anything to trade. But
of course, your time.
4Marks Tools. I think he wanted that design that I did from in my most recent post. There was like a bit of wood with 4Marks Tools on it and a backhoe, 4-inch backhoe on it, and I kind of wanted a toolbox that he was selling, so I paid an extra like £15. I sent him £15. And he sent me the toolbox, so I got a toolbox for a design, which is awesome because I love it.
That is very cool. That was since your metal toolboxes that you had, Rosie, I got rid of all of mine barn box style ones that I've got. And the other day, on Gumtree is a Blue Point, the original.
I keep seeing them everywhere, and then I only send you the cheap ones. Like I see them and they're really expensive. I'll not send that to James, but if I see a cheaper one, I usually send them to you because they are really fucking cool. I have a Stanley one.
There's one that's very similar, right? And it's got, because I really want some tool totes, and it looks like a barn box, but you open it up at the top. And it has a full-on tool tote that comes out of it. And then at the bottom bit is another tool tote, and it slides out and lifts out of the toolbox. So it hasn't got drawers, and it doesn't open up like a normal cantilever. Cool, yeah, I'll see if it's still up.
You're going to have to say, I'm struggling to get my head around what this thing looks like now.
It's very cool. But Gumtree, like you message people, and what I do if I think people put things on Gumtree because they're not on Facebook or eBay, and then they just fucking forget that they've put anything up. So I've messaged people on Gumtree, and it's just like they just ignore it forever.
I'm the opposite, right? I message people, is this still available? And then because I don't have notifications set up for Gumtree, I don't even go on it that often, but when I do, and I message somebody, and then I forget about it, and then I go on like a week later, and they've said, yeah, and then they've sold it already, so... Fucking, I miss out.
There was another tool thing that you two were interested in, which was some sort of trolley.
The Hazit
tool.
Hazit Assistant.
Oh man,
I've actually just added one to my watch list today. It's like
Okay.
£350, but I do not have £350. But it is my dream to have one. So if anyone wants to donate to my GoFundMe, so I can get a hazard assistant.
I've just found it. I'm going to send it to you. We are now an hour and 5 minutes into this.
No.
Gents, what are we going to wrap this up? What's your views?
Yeah, rad.
Yeah, why
I've
not?
got to head back into the workshop, so
Don't want to bore people to death with our talk about toolboxes.
If there's a toolbox that you are looking for and it is a bit weird and quirky, we've mentioned, I think on the first episode we ever did, was the first like early snap-on cabinets that look like a Smeg fridge. That for me is like, oh yeah. But you know the drawers are going to be absolutely shit because there's no fucking roller
bearings
in there. But send us things that inspire you or something that you're looking for. We'll share it on the podcast, and then we can create like a network of people trying to find stuff.
But can I just say, like, you know, my nickname Matt's given me, the Bloodhound. I'm really good at finding stuff. If you want it, I'll find it. I will.
Oh yeah.
I will find 5 different names for it and find you 6,000 listings for it for sale.
all under 15 quid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Even free. I'll find them for free.
Well, that's only if you go and pick it up, and then you get chatting to the guy, and he's amazed that you're a woman who's interested in engineering, and why don't you take this thing for free? And I've got this Mitutoyo clock that's worth 600 quid, but by all means, take it with you. Not bitter.
I know it's a bit shameless, but when I first started my apprenticeship, I said, I've just started my apprenticeship in engineering. And obviously now that was like 10 years ago, and now if I say that to people, you're like, you? Yeah, we're a load of bollocks, you know. I've just started my apprenticeship in engineering and I really like tools and I haven't got any tools. Doesn't work anymore. Not that I do that now, but I did that when I first started and it did work. A bit of sympathy, a little bit.
Well, actually, I used that last year. I didn't say I was an apprentice. I said, look, I've just started out in engineering. I think it was for some, like, you know, DTIs and measuring equipment. Yeah. I never got them.
Nah, bastards.
He didn't want to do them really cheap.
No.
And he wanted £8 postage.
They sent them second class, £3.20.
That's a prick.
Right.
Thank you again to James from Molten Make. Be sure to check out his Instagram from last week. Thanks to both Matt and Rosie for coming back and getting over your crabs. Matt,
I would like to thank myself for being cool as fuck.
Okay.
And world peace.
Yeah. And world peace. Fantastic. Let's not talk world peace at the minute.
Other helmets.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, we're over world peace and lower fuel prices for fuck's sake, please.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I was crying at the fuel pump.
I was twitching. Right. Fuel prices, please come down. World peace would be excellent. And timber prices seem to be going down a little bit. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for James at Molten Make. And we look forward to the next episode where you'll be hearing from James from Anchor Designs, Matt from Hex MFG Manufacturing, and Rosie from Rosie's Workshop. We have been great. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.
Slides off the tongue, that.